Hi, I'm Peter Freedman. I started martial art at a very early age. My father was a professional boxer and a bare knuckle fighter. He was a champion in the ring and out of the ring. And he taught me how to defend myself because he knew other little kids were going to punch me in the nose and I had to learn how to bob and weave. So he taught me how to use my footwork and my feet and different things like that. Later on, he taught me how to use what he called a judo chop. We chop it to the bicep or the side of the neck or the groin area. Taught me how to use my knees, how to elbow, all different things like that. And then from there, as I got older, I saw people doing karate and martial arts, and I wanted to try it. So my nephews were studying karate at the time, and they would come and teach me some of the karate they learned at their karate school. And I told them I was interested because I watched a couple of movies where they had karate in it, James Bond, Sean Connery, 007, which I was impressed with. So I wanted to learn a little bit of, how to do some, martial arts and things like that. So they started teaching me their form of karate. And later on, as I got older, my father signed me up to a Goju-Ryu karate school in Lawrence, Mass. And I trained under Ron Martin Sensei, who he was under Chuck Merriman Sensei. And from that, I stuck with Ron Martin for a little while, learned a little bit of Goju-Ryu, and then I had to move, because I was living in North Reading at the time, I had to move back to Boston, so I couldn't take lessons anymore from Mr. Ron Martin. So we came back and I started looking around, and my father found a Kensugo Jiu-Jitsu school. This was in the 70s. And I started training with Robert L. Dickey. We called him Mr. Dickey. And he taught Kensugo Jiu-Jitsu. He was known for judo. And the Kensugo Jiu-Jitsu was a mixture of Adiwata, which was karate, judo, aikido, but it was combat judo, aikido, jiu-jitsu, and SAVATE, French foot fighting. So it was all combined together in one. I did that for many years with Mr. Dickey, and then eventually I broke away from Mr. Dickey because I didn't have the money to pay, and I started working, and then later on I got into what we call Fujao Pai, which is Fujao is tiger claw, and I started learning that with Wadon Sifu, and did that for a couple of years, absolutely loved it. And then I think Wadon went to New York or went somewhere, and I started doing Taekwondo with Dump Kim in Kenmore Square, Boston. And I did that for I don't know how many years, and then I switched over to Jaehan Kim for the remaining couple of years. I think I did for about 6 or 7 years Taekwondo. I loved it. And from there, I went back to, where did I go from there? Taekwondo, I went back to the Jiu-Jitsu because I met Sensei Jim Jones, I think it was, in a sporting store downtown where I used to work. He started telling me about Jiu-Jitsu, and we both had the same teacher because Bob Dickey was his teacher, and he was my teacher as well, so we gelled, we got along, and I started doing Jiu-Jitsu again with Jim Jones, and then eventually he brought in Jim Wade Sensei, who was also a high rank under Bob Dickey, and that was good. We were doing the Kensugo again. I also got involved with Tai Chi Chuan, the fighting Tai Chi, with Joshua Grant, who was the push hands champion, I think, 3 times in a row in Taiwan. He also does Bagua and Thai Mantis and some other things, but it was really good. And I really appreciate that. The Tai Chi actually changed my Jiu-Jitsu. So while I was doing that, when I stopped doing the Tai Chi for a while, I went and did Aikido with Kanai Sensei. I did that for 2 years in Cambridge, Mass. And that actually changed my Jiu-Jitsu as well. It made it more flowing and much smoother. And then in 1985, my Jiu-Jitsu teacher introduced me to my Filipino martial art teacher, Guru George Brewster. And I learned the Anas Lanada system, the 5 angles Anas Lanada, the 5 Teros, the 5 strikes, deadly strikes. And I did that from 1985 to 2006, to where Mr. Brewster passed away. The year 2000, Mr. Brewster made me out a certificate for Grandmaster and told me you're Grandmaster of the system now, and taught me how to teach for 6 years until he passed away in 2006. So since then, I found my own way of teaching. I teach Ketsugu Jiu-Jitsu. I didn't invent that, but what I did invent is a method of teaching it that I call the Freedman's method. The Freedman's method is not a martial art. It's a teaching method. It teaches people how to learn whatever it is that I'm sharing with them. And the Ketsugu Jiu-Jitsu was just a vehicle. And I apply that also to the arnis as well. And then, and currently, to this date, I'm still doing arnis. I'm still promoting the arnis for Mr. Brewster. I'm still doing the Ketsugu Jiu-Jitsu, but I now live in Ware, New Hampshire. And right now, I was flown out here by Professor Paul, who flew me out here, and I haven't stopped laughing since. We had such a great time. And this Hall of Fame wasn't what I expected. I didn't realize I was going to get stomach muscles and develop a six-pack from laughing so hard. Professor Paul is a very, very knowledgeable man, a very funny man. He looks like Robert De Niro, so my wife says. And he knows his stuff. If you live in the Laredo, Texas area, make sure you give Mr. Professor Paul a call, because his SAVATE is amazing. I did SAVATE in the 70s, and I'm telling you, this man's a master. And I'm learning things I've never knew before. He's teaching me SAVATE. I'm learning the stick. I'm learning how to hit myself. The SAVATE way of whacking yourself with the stick. Well, he doesn't whack himself, so I think he's teaching me a little differently. The Hall of Fame is amazing. If you ever get a chance or an opportunity and you get invited to this, make the effort to go. You won't be let down. Right now, we're here at the YMCA, or the Boys Club, and we're teaching a workshop, and we got a mixture of all different grandmasters that are here, and we're taking turns teaching, and we are just having so much fun. It's not like you think. There's nothing to be afraid of. Come on down and take part in this. It's a great time. The food is great, the people are greater, and the instruction is vast. You learn a lot. I'm learning a lot, things I never knew, and it's just making me better at what I'm doing for Mr. Brewster.